Mother, the educational trader, here on MarketFi, a benzinga.com service. I wanted to add on to the conversation on Tesla. Of course, we've seen the stock have a massive run ever since it broke out here, just about $39, and it has moved all the way to the lower 170s. We're talking about fourfold move here in almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight months. So the monthly still looks very strong. As you can see, it's very difficult to short stocks whenever the RSI is trading at that level. Now let's move on here to the weekly chart, and what we can see here is, as far as timing is concerned, every time we've had 2 weeks of rest, the stock has given investors an opportunity of getting back in the stock like it did here at about 105. There was another 2 weeks of rest here after making this weekly high, and the stock broke out again. That was another entry point there. We see now we've settled here at 169, which is the highest weekly close ever, and the stock tried to move above that but is finding it difficult. So on the weekly chart, your buy point is when the stock moves above 169. That would trigger a breakout buy point, and I would say my price target would be in the 200s, about $200 just to begin with, to see how it can go. Now, of course, we are seeing that here it did try to move above 169, seems to be failing, trading at 166. So that is troublesome, because this could be the early sign of a stock that is running out of gas. Just the fact that it can hold above 169, which would be a breakout trigger point. Let's take a look at the MACDs here. As you can see, the MACDs do seem to indicate that the stock could be rolling over. You see the MACDs have been volatile here, and now they seem to be cracking that support level here. So I might be of the opinion here that we are starting to see a stock here that is really moved so much so quickly, and it is probably coming into some resistance, or at least running into some short-term stalling point. If we take a look at the daily, we see that the highest close for this stock is 170.62. So if you really want to play this from a breakout point, wait for the stock to break out above 170.62, which is the highest daily close ever. And my initial price target is going to be probably in the $190, $200 level. Now, if you want to short the stock, I would suspect the best way to go about this is to wait for it to move below this 160.70, which is the lowest close going back about 2 months. So if it can break down below the 160.70 area, that would suggest that this break would be a break there, would suggest that now we are going to be testing the 50-day moving average. That would be my initial price target, the 50-day moving average. But I can also say, if you take the Fibonacci on this one, since it broke out here at about $40 and take the high there, my initial price target is going to be 120, the lower 120 level, which is about 121. Secondary price target is going to be at 106, which would be 50% retracement since the breakout level. Now, those are very conservative price targets, and I think they're very achievable. But watch this 160.70, which is the lowest close going back a couple of weeks. You'd like to see confirmation of that break before you can initiate any short positions. So we'll see here that the stock did try to move above 170.62. As of right now, this seems to be stalling. So there are signs here that the stock could run into trouble on the RSI. If you want to go short, you'd like for it to break this daily support line here. This green line needs to be broken. If it can break and break 160.70, then it's going to be confirming to you that the stock is about to pull back, and pull back significantly after a major run. We'll also see that the MACDs have not really traded below zero since the breakout. We've stayed above zero over the last 6 months or so. We haven't moved below zero, but here we are threatening to go below zero, which is going to be a sign of exhaustion. We see that the MACD again here is starting to break down here. So the dailies also do show that the stock is running into some kind of capitulative behavior here, and it's going through the progression of breaking down. Let's take a look at the hourly, and you see that this 171, 170 area has been resistance right there. See, the stock has really struggled to hold those levels. Every time it hits those levels, it pulls back. It did so here, here, and here, here, and recently here. So this could be the beginning of where the pullback begins. Also, we'll see that the stock made new highs in price on the hourly. We have new highs in price here and here, and yet the technicals failed. It also seems to me that we broke out of this trend line here, support trend line. We broke below that. We came all the way and are now testing this break point here, and we seem to be stalling. That's another red flag. The RSI also shows that this should be an area of a break right there. Draw a straight line. Ever since we broke down here, the sentiment on the RSI has not improved. That's a sign of a stock that is running into technical difficulties. And you can also see that the MACDs also did not make a new high, as the stock was making a new high here. And you see that the MACD is very close to trade below zero here and a crossover here on the bearish side. So I believe if you use the daily chart to tell you when to go short, so 160.70 is your trigger point to the downside. And also, if you want to play the upside, wait for stock to break out either on the daily above 170.62. That would be a breakout to the upside on the daily chart. If you want to play it from a weekly standpoint, the wait for the stock to move above 169 would be the trigger point on a weekly chart for the stock to move to attack those 190, 200 price levels. So you have an idea of when to go long this stock and when to go short. This is Eric Moada, the educational trader. Good luck, peace, and blessings. Woo!